Happy Food for Thought Friday. I am Pastor KZ, and I preference this video and by saying I have re-recorded this video over 3 or 4 times, and it just never comes out the way I wanted it to. So I'm just going to go on the fly with the video and have a conversation with you. As promised, I want to continue the conversation about emotional exhaustion. Have you ever experienced decreased motivation, chronic stress, chronic fatigue, poor sleep, you're irritated, any irrational thoughts? Have you ever had that where you just can't get motivated? You're in a rut. You just can't move forward. Then you probably are emotionally exhausted. And as I said, I'm not an expert or a guru, but I am going to give you some information that I believe will be beneficial for you. And you can share it with other people, because I know it's some good things I'm going to say today. And there's some people out there who are just emotionally exhausted. And it's gone undiagnosed. You don't want to own it and think about it much, but that could be what's going on with you. Any of you have grown children out there who think they know everything? Do some of you have grown grandchildren out there who just think they know everything? They got all the answers, and you can see them heading down a path that's going to hurt them in the long run, or break them, or not be a positive experience for them, but they just won't listen to you. Have you ever talked to your spouse until you just tired of talking? Anybody that have a spouse out there, whether you married or in a relationship with somebody, have you ever just found yourself having the same conversation over and over again? Why are you doing that? As I said before on another video I did last year, either they just don't care, either they don't understand what you're saying, or maybe you just need to reassess whether this person has the intellectual capacity to comprehend what you are saying. Have you ever dreaded going home from work? Or have you ever dreaded going to work? I want to talk today about some things that causes this emotional exhaustion that you're experiencing. I want you to do an assignment for me, but the assignment really is for you, even though I ask you to do them. I want you to write down some things that triggers your emotional exhaustion. What things are you tired of? What are the things that trigger you? Remember, now, if you forget what I'm saying, go back and replay the video. Your assignment for over the weekend is to write down things that trigger your exhaustion. Things that I'm just sick and tired of, but they're things that trigger it. Now, everybody's triggers is different, so when we looking at the comments and when you're sending in your emails to me, I don't expect everybody to have the same triggers, and that's okay. But it's time for you to be honest about what triggers you. And I want you, when you're doing this assignment, to be honest and to be very specific. Don't give me a broad general term. Oh, when I have to go to work, it triggers me. No. Something about work triggers you. It might be something that specifically triggers you, like I hate staff meetings, or I hate going there because when I read my emails, there's a whole list of things to do, or I just can't stand two of my coworkers and they get on my last nerve. I want you to be very specific. Don't sugarcoat it. And in the meantime, I want you to be willing to make certain lifestyle changes to help alleviate those triggers and those symptoms. I want you to start being willing to alter or make small changes to your day-to-day habits. This will help you when some of your emails came yesterday about how do I start to move past the emotional exhaustion. Some of the things you can do is to change your routine, or modify some things that you do day to day. Some of the habits that you have maybe need to go away. You need to work on that. Another thing will help you is to let go of some activities that you don't have to be on. Let me say, you don't have to be a part of every committee. You don't have to be on every scene when there's an event. Every party that goes on, every cookout, every game night, whatever, you don't have to be a part of it. You can skip karaoke night sometime, okay? You've got to get balanced and stop trying to rip and run and do everything, because not only are you physically drained, but you're emotionally drained. Part of emotional exhaustion is you are incapable, not that you're incapable, but you have not been setting boundaries. That's a whole show I'm going to do, because that is a key with your emotional exhaustion. You're physically and mentally tired of something, but you're not doing anything about it. You're not changing anything. And you know what? Be careful and mindful of the people in your life who take advantage of that. They know you don't have, it's hard for you to say no. So what do? You to go to. They know you have a tendency to be a people pleaser and you want to make everything right. They already know you're going to be the one, the control freak, to pick up the ball and plan the party, plan the dinner. They know you're going to do that. That's why you're the go-to. But you're not the only one that can do this. You're not the only person on the job that can plan the Christmas dinner or the boss's birthday party. You're not that person this year. Back up, step away, and say, you know what, I'm just tired. Let somebody else do it. You're not the only one can do Women's Day at church, okay? Church girls, church ladies, you're not the only one can chair the committee, okay, for Old Fashioned Day. You're not the only one. Step back and let somebody else do it. You're not the one that has to plan the youth department's Christmas party every year. Sometimes you got to let go of some things, relinquish some things. It'll get done whether you're there to do it or not. But sometimes step back, rest your brain, and give somebody else an opportunity, because you know they're talking about you anyway. She think the show can't go on without her. I can do a better job than that. Let them be okay with that. And that's all right, step down from some committees. Maybe your time is up. Maybe your season is up. Maybe it's time for a fresh ear. Why do you think we have president elections every 4 years? Think about it. Also, like I said, anything that is producing stress and producing a level of disruption to your peace of mind, where you cannot sleeping properly, you're not eating properly, you worried all the time, you upset, you uptight. You've got to identify those things and you've got to put them in check, because your emotional well-being is at stake. I want to pause here for a moment. And as I said, it was hard for me to do this video because I have tried to ignore this situation, but something has bothered my spirit since the day I heard it. There is a professor, she was the Vice President of Student Affairs at Lincoln University, a very prestigious HBCU. And her name was Dr. Antoinette Bailey. And I gotta mention this professor. She suffered from emotional exhaustion, which is what we're talking about today. She was overloaded. It was just too many things going on in her life. And because of her supervisor, she felt like he bullied her. And this is another part. I just don't understand a non-melanated person who is the president of a HBCU, but that's another topic. He bullied her and berated her, embarrassed her repeatedly, so much so that she decided it was too much for her and she no longer wanted to be on this earth. Rest in peace, my sister. She is a member of the Divine Nine, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. And this woman had degrees in sociology, rehabilitation counseling, and leadership studies. She was emotionally exhausted, overloaded. And how ironic that the president of this HBCU, who was non-melanated, didn't even have a PhD. I'm just saying. Emotional exhaustion was too powerful for her to deal with, not to mention the things she had going on at home in her personal life. And you go to work and you're overloaded there. And she couldn't take it anymore. It was too powerful for her to deal with. Now, what saddens me so much to the core, these are some of the comments that was said, or comments that are currently being said about this sister. She was mentally weak. Are you mentally weak because you try to do good? You try to help everybody. You try to, keep the family together, keep things going. That makes you weak. When you try to jump in and help with committees at church or committees at work, are you mentally weak because you are a kind-hearted person, you are a giving person, you have love in your heart and compassion in your heart? That makes you weak? This woman was the vice president of student affairs. Those students revered her. They respected her. They went to her for help. They went to her for guidance, assistance. And she had things going on in her personal life that she couldn't bring on the job, that she was begging and reaching out and asking only for some paid time off, some PTO, some family medical leave. The Family Medical Leave Act, that didn't even kick in. They didn't even give her that. She was mentally and emotionally exhausted. And people are saying she was weak. Here's another thing that they were saying. Where was her faith? See, this is what I'm saying about churchgoers and Christians. You're so self-righteous, you're so judgmental, and you're so quick to spiritualize somebody's pain. Where was her faith? Everybody's faith gets tested. You've never experienced a test where your faith got shaken? You that spiritual that you've never had a time in your life where you just felt overloaded, like, I just don't know what else to do. Here's another thing they said. She could help other people, but she couldn't help herself. I want to say this. Shame on all of you for making those statements. You mean to tell me there has never been a time in your life when things overwhelmed you? Never in your life have you felt drained. For those of you watching, have there ever been a time in your life where you just felt drained? Have you ever felt despondent? Have you ever felt depressed in your life? My God, people bury their mama. They bury their daddy. Some people have buried their children, a child, their spouse, their husband, or their wife. And you telling me that they shouldn't feel a little drained, a little overloaded, a little grief, a little sadness? Okay, I hear you in my other ear saying, since you're over spiritualizing this, no, the word of God say you're supposed to rejoice when they go home and weep when they come in. You must be still have both of your parents. You ain't never buried your husband, have you? Never buried a wife, have you? Never buried a child. Never lost a grandparent, have you? You just one of the, never lost a brother or sister, right? You just a person who living life like it's golden, and you've never felt pain. Never been overwhelmed on the job, right? Everything, you just live a perfect life. Kudos to you. Perhaps you can share your story with somebody else, because for some of us, we have felt depression. I have. I'm going to put myself in there. I have felt depressed. I have felt frustrated. I have been discouraged. You know how many people told me that this platform wouldn't work? You know how many people laughed at me when I said I was doing a YouTube channel and said, oh, it's thousands and thousands of people doing the same thing you're doing. You're just wasting your time. Well, ironically, I didn't have that in my DNA to quit. As I talked about the other day, knowing who you are, I know who I am. And I just don't have the quit in my DNA. You know, everybody's not built the same way. Some people are just not built to break. You can't break them no matter what. But then there's others in just a lapse, a brief moment, are at the breaking point and feel like I can't go on no more. See, it's easy to sit back and pass judgment and say these things. Where is her faith? And where was her AKA sorrows? Where was her family? Where was her church family? Why she didn't call her pastor to pray with her? Y'all, do you call your pastor all the time? Are there some things that you might feel too ashamed, too embarrassed, or just too broken to even talk about to anybody? Anybody? Am I touching something for saying something? Have you ever gone through something in your life that's so bad that is hurting you so bad? I'm talking to some of the people who've gone through divorces. Some people who have gone through bad breakups. I'm talking to some people who have dealt with death. I'm talking to somebody who know what it feels like to just be on the other side of being happy and know what it feels like to I can't even talk about this. I'm just so broken, or this took me by surprise, or this betrayal hurt so bad. I'm talking to you today. I'm talking to the people who can relate to this. I'm not talking about the people who live the perfect life and don't never have no problems. So I'm not talking to anybody who don't know what it's like to be in debt and you don't know how you gonna even pay your bills. This show is not for you today. Why she couldn't call her pastor, why she couldn't call her family or friends. It's not that she couldn't. It's just that something was going on inside her that was broken and she just couldn't talk about it no more. Remember I said yesterday at the beginning, the top of the show, that not only was the emails that came in said they were emotionally exhausted, but they say they were just sick and tired of it all. Just too much going on at one time and they were overwhelmed. And that's what happened to this woman. Y'all know something? This story got to me. When I heard it on the news, it just got to me. And I'm sorry, y'all. This video went left and went maybe another way. But let me speak freely here to someone watching today. Someone who knows what it's like to experience pain, experience loss. This woman experienced workplace bullying to the 10th power. I am repulsed that nothing was done about it. All of the people that's on the board, that president, those non-melanated people at an HBCU who feel like they are still in charge and the masters oppressed and berated and beat down someone so bad, and a person who was actually overqualified for the position. This woman repeatedly in emails wrote to the board and reported this bullying. So for those of you who say, well, she didn't tell nobody what was going on, she did. She did. She spoke up and nothing was done about it. She was only asking for leave because she had some stuff going on in her family. She needed time away from the job to deal with, y'all. So it's not like this went unnoticed, even in her family. They knew something was broken and going on, and she wanted time off to fix it. So don't sit here and say she didn't tell nobody. See, some of y'all need to start paying attention to your loved ones. Sometimes pick up the phone and call them. And I hear you. Well, the phone worked both ways. No, some of you have got to stop with this mindset and this attitude that, well, I'm tired of reaching out. They don't never reach out. They don't call me. I'm not going to call them. You say you're a Christian. What's wrong with you? Maybe somebody not reaching out because they broken. Maybe they're not reaching out because they got stuff going on. But is it going to hurt you to pick up the phone and check on them? Is it going to hurt you to just, I need to come by your house, girl. I know I didn't call you before I came, but I just need to lay my eyes on you. You all right? You good? And y'all say y'all love the Lord. You sit up in church every Sunday and somebody sitting next to you might be going through something, but you sitting up there so full of your self-righteousness and indignation that you can't look and see this woman sitting here crying on this pew in this seat. Something wrong with her. Pay attention to what's going on around you. You know, people say, well, I didn't see the signs. Because you're not paying attention. Well, they never said nothing. Do you not know sometimes people don't have to say anything? Just their behavior lets you know. When you see a person isolating themselves and withdrawing from things, something is wrong. Something done happened there. There's a break somewhere, y'all. Sometimes people are not going to reach out to you. Sometimes people don't know how to come to you and talk about it. Sometimes people don't want to talk to members of their church because everybody in church ain't saved. Can I say that? Everybody in church ain't saved. There's some mean people in church, and that's a shame. Okay, Pastor KZ, you shouldn't have said that. I'm speaking the truth in love. It's some very mean-spirited people sitting up in the house of worship. It's some people sitting up in the house of worship. I don't even know why they're there, because some of them go for the fashion show. Some of them go for the socializing. Very little is going for the word. Of course, if the word is being taught there. Y'all got to get it right. It's some things people go through. They're too embarrassed to talk about. Or they simply too depressed. That's why they stay home all the time. That's why people are isolating. That's why they're not picking up the phone. That's why you need to, when you done called them 3-4 times and you know that this is a person that normally picks up the phone, let me go by their house and see what's going on. And then, especially if it's somebody you have a key to their house and you haven't heard from them in days, you need to go and ring that doorbell, knock on that door. If they come out and they still got on their bathrobe or their pajamas or their sleep shirts from the whole week, girl, what's wrong? Come on, let me help you get in the shower. Let me help you, sis, because something wrong. Come on, I got to get you out of this house. Girl, you ain't washed dishes in 2 weeks. Let me get some food cooked in here for you. That's what you got to do. And all of this here, call me if you need me. You know a person needs you. They just laid their mama to rest. I don't care if she been laid to rest a year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. You know it's her mama's birthday anniversary. You know she's sad or he's sad. His daddy's birthday would have been. You know, people don't have to call you. You know it's Mother's Day and you know that's hard for people. I'm just saying, I just personally believe this, and I'm going to end this video. Like I said, I've tried to do this video 3-4 times. I've retaped it. I don't know which version you're going to get today. You might get this the last version, this the one you'll get today. I don't believe in my heart that people who choose to leave this earth, I don't believe they want to leave this earth. I believe they want to leave the pain, the hurt, the shame. I believe that's what they want to end. I don't believe they want to end their lives. I just think they don't just want to end the pain. Y'all, we got to do better. We got to be mindful of people. And we've got to show more love, kindness, and compassion. I know sometimes we get in the flesh and full of ourselves and thinking the wrong way. Y'all, sometimes people think they can just say anything to you and talk to you any kind of way, and it's okay because you believe in speaking your mind and speaking your peace. But I am telling you, sometimes you need to shut your mouth and look at that person's expression you talking to, because you might be talking to a person already broken on the edge and don't feel like they got nothing to lose anyway. One of the main scriptures, I believe, from the book of James talks about taming your tongue. And so many Christians don't have a clue how to shut their mouth and tame their tongue because you think you can say anything to people. Words hurt. Words can destroy a person. You can, with these same words, you can tear a person down or you can build a person up. And the worst thing you can do is tear a person down when they already down. Y'all do better. I don't know. It's Friday. I wanted to give you some food for thought. The video went left, but you know what? I believe it will help somebody. Y'all comment, like, and share the video. Pass it along to other people about the channel. Please subscribe. Get yourself focused. Find your balance and protect your peace at all costs. Again, rest in peace, my dear sister, on your journey. And to her family, may you find comfort. Y'all have a wonderful weekend. Think about what I said today. Do better. Do better. Reach out to somebody. It's some hurt people. And the sad part is some of the biggest people who hurt other people are already hurt themselves. So watch your tongue, watch your tone, and be mindful and be watchful of other people's energy, because they may be giving you signs that you miss. So love on people while you can. I'll see you back Monday.